So, what if I told you that the secret to making huge changes in your life isn't some giant leap? What if it's actually a step so small you'd barely even notice it? Well, that is the power of the 1% rule. We're going to dive into how these tiny daily improvements can build up into some truly unstoppable momentum. And I think it's going to completely change how you look at your goals. Does this sound familiar to you? You get this huge burst of motivation, you come up with this grand plan to completely transform your life, and then a week later, you're right back where you started, feeling totally defeated. It's such a frustrating cycle, right? And the truth is, it happens to pretty much all of us. And this is where it all tends to fall apart, in that gap between the ambition and the reality. We say we want to run a marathon, but we can't even get off the couch. We dream about writing a novel, but we just end up paralyzed, staring at a blank page. This disconnect, this is where so many amazing goals just fizzle out. You know, this problem actually has a name. It's the all or nothing trap. It's this belief that if we can't make some massive change, there's no point in even taking a small step. And the crazy part, it almost always leads to doing, well, nothing at all. So it's not our ability that's the problem. It's this mindset that's really standing in our way. But what if there was a way to just sidestep this trap completely? Turns out there's a totally different path, and it's built on a really powerful Japanese philosophy that flips this entire idea on its head. It's called Kaizen. So the word Kaizen, it literally means change for the better or continuous improvement. Now, this is a concept that big businesses have used for decades to get incredible results. But honestly, its real power is in how you and I can apply it to our own lives. And this right here, this is the heart of Kaizen. It completely rejects the idea of some radical overnight transformation. Instead, it is all about making small, almost unnoticeable improvements. The goal isn't to be perfect tomorrow, it's just to be a tiny bit better than you were today. Okay, so that's the philosophy, but how do we actually do it? How do we make this practical? Well, it all comes down to the engine that drives the whole thing, a beautifully simple idea called the 1% rule. Yep, that's it. Just 1%. That's the target. It's not intimidating, it's not overwhelming, it's doable. It's a number so small that it's almost impossible to talk yourself out of it. This quote just perfectly captures the shift in mindset. You've got to let go of perfection and focus only on that small daily progress. Your measure of success for the day is super simple. Were you 1% better? That's it. All right, let's make this super practical. Here's how it works. First, you pick one thing, just one. Don't try to change your entire life at once. Second, you shrink that goal down to its smallest possible version, the 1% version. And finally, the most important part, you commit to doing that tiny action every single day. Consistency is everything. So, what do these so-called micro habits actually look like in real life? I mean, just think about how ridiculously easy these are. One push-up, one page of a book. The whole idea is to make the action so small that it's impossible to say no, even on your absolute worst day. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Seriously, is reading one page a day really going to change my life? Let's talk about the payoff, because this is where the real magic happens, and it's how true, lasting momentum is built. Now, for the first few days, maybe even the first few weeks, you're not going to notice much. The changes are going to feel so small, so insignificant. But that's because under the surface, a really powerful force is at work. It's called compounding. Just look at how this compounding effect explodes over time. After 90 days of getting just 1% better, you're already more than twice as good as when you started. But stretch that out over a whole year, and that tiny daily improvement makes you nearly 38 times better. That is the unbelievable power of small, consistent gains. You see, every day you do your micro habit, you're basically laying down another brick. One brick doesn't seem like much, but you keep doing it day after day, and pretty soon you've built a wall, and that wall becomes a fortress. These tiny habits stack on top of each other until they create this massive, positive force in your life that is truly unstoppable. So we've talked about the problem, the philosophy, and the incredible payoff. Now it's time for the most important part, turning this whole idea into your reality. It's time to figure out your first tiny step. So, if you only take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Stop trying to overhaul your life in one weekend. Instead, focus on the smallest possible step you can take. Just aim for that 1% improvement, because doing a little bit every day will always beat doing a lot once in a while. And that is the simple truth, isn't it? Doing one push-up is easy. Meditating for 1 minute is easy. The action itself is never the hard part. The real challenge, the real battle, is just that moment you decide to start. Take that first tiny step, and you've already won the hardest fight. So I'll leave you with this one question. Not for tomorrow, not for next week, but for right now, today. What is the one tiny, almost laughably small action you can take that would make you just 1% better? Think about it for a second, and then go do it. Because that's how it all begins.